Hey, Sean here with The Connection. So I just got off the bike. I wasn't actually watching Lauren Gunderson and David Ball as an exercise video. I was watching a little bit of football as my exercise. But when I popped off, I've just been thinking all day today about the devotional that I read this morning. I read Skye Jethani's With God Daily. And today's, he talked about Jesus washing the disciples' feet. Jesus says to Peter, "What I am doing, you do not understand now, but afterwards you will understand." Now, this put Skye in mind of Kierkegaard's quote, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." Basically saying that we can't understand what we're doing as we're doing it. We can really only start to understand it as we look back on it. The devotion goes on to talk about examinum, which I'm pronouncing wrong, but how you can look at your life at the end of the day and you'll see moments in a very different light than things that you could not see as you're going through it. With God Daily, I do highly recommend that. But what it put me in mind to the entire time I was reading it was David Ball's book, Backwards and Forwards. This is one of the textbooks that I require all of my writers to get. It's a writing textbook that is not about writing and it's not about playwrights. It's actually a theater director's book on how to read plays. And David Ball's basic thesis is the best way to understand reading a script is backwards and forwards, not to just read it linear and think you understand it, but to read it backwards to see, because when you read a scene, you know what's going to happen before the scene, and you kind of go backwards to understand a story. I'm not explaining it well. If you want it explained well, Lauren Gunderson did a fantastic interview. Facebook, she was doing a lot of GIFs during COVID, getting a hold of people via Zoom and giving things out. And one of them is an amazing interview with David Ball. You can find that. I found it on YouTube, but you can find it on Facebook. Lauren Gunderson. Fantastic playwright. So look for that. Look for this book. It's a nice, thin little book, but it will change the way you see plays. And by changing the way that you see plays and other scripts, it'll change the way you write them. So as a writer, I use his theories all the time about, okay, where do I need to end up? Now let's backtrack from that. Let's move backwards and forwards rather than trying to write from page 1 through to page 120 or page 90 or page whatever. So that's all I have to say about that. Sorry, I'm a little breathless from my bicycling. So look, maybe I lost weight as well as getting this connection in. We'll see. So this has been Sean with another connection.